The New York Islanders fall to the Philadelphia Flyers 5-3, and pretty much what could be, you know, I guess a stamp on our season. If this doesn't say the season's over and dreams of playoffs are dashed for even the most diehard faithful such as myself, there can really only be one thing to do now. And instead of yes, 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 it's sell, 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 sell because we're garbage. When a person goes to Alcoholics Anonymous, not that I have, I'm still drinking strong, so I'm not. But I do know this from watching TV shows and that one of the first steps to for an alcoholic is to admit that they're an alcoholic. So they would come out and say, "Hi, my name's Terry, and I'm an alcoholic." Well, I feel like I have to do that with the Islanders. So here's my mind. The Islanders are 15th in the Metro, and we are a bad team. There's my I've come to grips. I've come to grips. I've come to grips. It oh, what I watched tonight. I mean, seriously, our home record is atrocious. Is atrocious because we're an atrocious team. That's why it's atrocious. There's that has to be the reason we have an atrocious record is because we're atrocious. So it makes 100% sense to me, for sure. I just maybe it's because of the team's age or something. I just don't see you know, they tried to fool me tonight by starting out strong. They did that last night. I wasn't fooled tonight. I wasn't fooled tonight by their opening into this game. I was not fooled by that at all. And before I talk about this game, I just want to talk a little bit about the refereeing. Uh, what happened out there with Max Sipakov tonight was an absolute joke, a 100% joke. The amount of penalties that were laid upon Max for that entire game and completely ignored by the refs because why? Because Max laid somebody out with a clean check, goes to review. The NHL refs are the ones who decide there's not even a minor penalty on the play. And so the game goes on. Well, the Flyers aren't happy with that. So they proceed to cross check them, punch them in the face, do whatever they want to them. And the referees are standing right there. It's like, why aren't these penalties? Like, you're the ones who cleared them of any bad behavior. So why are you letting the Flyers have a free for all on this guy? Like, I saw Scott Lawton, he horse collared Siplikov right from behind, and the ref is standing there looking at the two of them, and he's pulling at him while he's talking to him. And I'm going like, come on, man. I one clip I saw three penalties on him in about a 15-second space. Like just absolutely ridiculous reffing. Just a joke. An absolute joke. You know, I've been in Max's spot. Many a time I've had a team wanting to kill me. I've actually had two police escorts out of hockey arenas because people were waiting outside to to take care of me outside the arena, and so I actually had to get escorted out. And I had another escape in Lloydminster where there was a crowd of fans waiting to confront me. And but ironically, we had our team jackets on. We were in Lloydminster at the time, and we had our team jackets on. But at the start of the year, I wore a different number. And so my team jacket had my first number on, but my number had changed by that time. So as I'm leaving the dressing room, this horde of crowd of people waiting, I hear them go, "What's his number? What's his number? What's his number?" And they go, "Number 10, number 10." And on my on my hockey jacket it says 19. So I just right out the door. But anyway, I was thinking to myself, I got sidetracked. I'm sorry, but probably the last thing I want to do is talk about the Islanders right now. But I did wonder what it would be like, and I had many games where teams were trying to kill me. I was a dirty player. I had to because of my size, and it was survival of the fittest back in the 70s and 80s when I was playing hockey, and being 5'7", I had to do what I had to do to stay in the game. So, but I did wonder what it would be like to have people come after you and have the size of Siplikov. Like that would have been nice. That would have been nice. So, yeah. And another thing I do want to point out about this was I hope everybody noticed the coaching on Patrick Waugh's part. Not that I think Max needed it because he's 6'3" and I'm sure could take care of himself. But if you notice after that hit, the next shift that Siplikov came out, Martin was on his line. And sure enough, they went after him, and Martin's right there. So that was just some great coaching by Patrick there. It really was. Horrible, horrible refereeing, great coaching. Hell of a hit by Max. I mean, the guy's a great hitter. He hurts people. He's a big, big boy. And I mean, he hit the arm first, and the follow through just went to the head. Like there's nothing you can do about that. I mean, not only that, Max towers over the guy, so it's like it was as clean a hit as you can give out there. So anyway, I guess we'll start talking about the game. Like I said, I wasn't tricked by the Islanders, not one little bit. When Bo Horvat scores from Nelson, and believe it or not, it's on the power play. It was a horrible looking power play that all of a sudden, one bad break by Philly on a bad clear, and before they knew it, it was in the net. So Bo Horvat gets his 14th of the year on the power play from Brock Nelson. Nice heads up play by Nelson, passing it over, and Bo one timed her in. So that was nice. So halfway through the first period, but even by this point, I had noticed from the start that the Islanders had to the game that we'd already started slowing by the midway point, even though we had a 1-0 lead. And then the period ended. And I realized, here we are 1-0. And I looked at Philadelphia, and they're a bad team too. They are. They're not a good team. And they just handled us tonight. So that's how you know we're bad. We're a bad team, and Philadelphia is bad too. And so I even got to the point where thinking, well, you never know, Ilya may pitch another shutout tonight for how this game is going. Pretty low event, but quickly changes in an 8 minute and 28-second period of time when Couturier scores his eighth from Farabee and Michkov, and then a shorthanded goal by Garnet Hathaway from Konechny and Sanheim, and then Morgan Frost from Tippett and Konechny. And lo and behold, before you know it, Islanders are down 3-1. And there's 6 minutes still left to go in the second period. And you can tell these guys are down and out. And it, you have to play with desperation. You take a look at the way the Islanders played in the third. When you're down in the standings, the way the Islanders are down in the standings, and you have to win games, you have to play the entire game like you play the third, like desperate hockey. Desperate hockey. Take chances, pinch. You have to do all that stuff, and the Islanders just don't do it. They just don't do it. And sometimes I'm wondering if it's because of age. I think a lot of it has to do with the talent we've got assembled on our team. It's just not good enough. It's too much by committee that we don't support it enough. We don't have enough finishers on the team, so it's not good. It's not good. And so we go into the third period, and I just pretty much want to get this over with. And before I know it, 30 seconds into the period, Barzell scores, getting his fifth of the year from Dobson, and all of a sudden, like there's life in the building, and it gets everything excited. And it turns out to be a pretty good third period overall. But Cam York shuts that down at 5 minutes later, scoring his fourth from Farabee and Couturier. And it's 4-2. Now it's just pretty much a matter of playing it out. Lo and behold, we get another power play goal on a 6-on-4 when we pull the goaltender. Anders Lee getting his 20th of the year from Horvat and Palmieri. Nice to see Anders get rewarded with his 20th. I hope he gets 30 and 40 as well. Could be a stretch to get 40, but at least get 30. Anders, he's had a great season. And then Noah Cates salts it away with an empty netter from Travis Konechny, and the game ends, and pretty much the Islanders season ends right with it. It really does. It's almost time to start thinking of that Long Island boy. We're getting close to that kind of conversation, whether we're, if we get lucky, we could win the lottery. We don't have to finish last in the league, but we're certainly headed in that direction, but the West is so weak. But you never know. Lottery balls fall a certain way. If you can get into that little lottery group there, you never know. Maybe the Islanders will get the number one overall pick and get James Hagan from Long Island, and maybe we can retool this team and just come up with something different. So. Pretty much talks about Max's night tonight. He was a hunted man, still made some decent plays out there. Didn't back away from what the Flyers were throwing at him. So kudos to Max for hanging in there. I love the way he just laughed it off. And really, actually, a pretty good game by Max. He 17 minutes of ice time. Anthony Duclair is just absolutely useless. And if we can trade this guy by some miracle at the trade deadline, I say go for it. But I don't think anybody's going to bite onto that 4-year contract. Uh, I hope he's injured. But do I say this every single podcast? Yes, I do. And like I said, I hope he's injured. But if he is injured, now I'm pissed off because I want you out of the lineup because you're that bad. You're that useless. Go heal. Go do whatever you got to do. If it's surgery to end your season, so be it. You got 3 more years with the Islanders. Take care of it now because you suck. You're doing us no good. You're useless. And Lou, if you can trade him, be a miracle. Barzell, I thought, was the only Islander who had a good game tonight. He was all over the ice. He looked really good tonight. He was making a lot of plays, making things happen. Really stood out where no other Islanders stood out to me at all tonight. So good game by Matt. I felt for you. I could see the frustration on his face. Horvat got himself a goal and assist actually, but still somehow ends up a -2. I guess that's because the power play goals don't count as pluses, but wasn't the greatest game by Bo. But you know, since he got a couple points tonight, I guess that'll have to pass for the night. So uh, I guess good game, Bo. Matt Martin, if that pass. This is not the first time Matt has done this either. If that pass from our own boards to an all alone Philadelphia Flyer standing in the slot doesn't tell you about the politics of the NHL, how Matt Martin is how somehow playing for an NHL hockey club. It's just absolutely ridiculous. This guy has nothing left. He helps us in no way. I mean, you can talk about his leadership in the dressing room and whatnot. Pay for his ticket, bring him along on the trips, put him in a suit and let him go in there for a little rah-rah talk, but do not put him on the ice. I mean, 3 minutes and 48 seconds is all he got tonight, and it was the entire time was just hemmed in our end, and I mean, Patrick finally had enough. I can't help but feel like Patrick is getting pushed to play Martin. I so believe this. With all my heart, I believe that is what's happening. Lou is getting Martin that 1,000 games, and man, it sucks to be a coach if in the NHL if that's the kind of decisions you have to put up with as a coach. I mean, there's only one person who should be calling who's going into the roster from the amount of players that are given to him. That's it. GM, you've done your job. You've done your job, and now it's on the coach. Does with them as he sees fit. If he feels like making him a black ace for the night, That's what he does. And if he feels like not playing him at all, then you don't play him. But I really think that Patrick's being forced to play him. Engvall back to his old self tonight. However, I will give Pierre a little kudos, a little bit of kudos tonight. Two games in a row where I'm seeing Pierre be the instigator in some rough and tumble stuff after the whistle. So kudos for at least trying a little bit, Pierre. Kyle Palmieri's just kind of disappeared from he's off the radar. He's just kind of disappeared. I mean, he got an assist tonight, but yeah, he hasn't been very good. Hasn't been very good for quite some time now. It's been 15, 20 games. Well, no, he had a good 30 games. So what are we? Been good 15 games where he's just kind of disappeared. Anders Lee, nice to see him get a goal tonight. Like I said, get his 20th of the year. He had 18 minutes of ice time, and I mean, he was trying out there. Not his best game, though. Not his best game. I should point out that there were so many giveaways tonight that I cannot remember them all. I seriously can't remember them. There was that many of them. Like I'm thinking Isaiah George, I'm thinking Cholosky, I'm thinking Matt Martin one. I'm thinking there was so Duclair on the goal, the lazy. I mean. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. But I know there's more, and I just can't think of them right now. Dobson had a really bad one. Just taking a look at they all had bad giveaways tonight. It seems the whole freaking team was horrible. They were horrible. They really were. Nelson picked himself up an assist tonight, but yeah, not good enough out of Nelson. I definitely think we should be trading Brock sooner than later. And I never thought I'd be saying that. I really wanted Brock to stay an Islander. I just personally, I don't believe he's going to stay. I think he's going to Minnesota. I really do. I just have this gut feeling that he's gone. I could be wrong there. Maybe he's an Islander for life, but. Let's get something for him because there's been a noticeable decline in the last 20 games or so. That doesn't mean that he can't work out of it and the old Brock can come back, but at this age, you never know when that turning point and that time's going to be. And from what I'm seeing right now, I'm not liking what I'm seeing out of Brock. That's for sure. So Brock's going to want something like 5, 6 years at least on his next contract, at least. So I don't know. I don't know. Kyle McLean, I just felt sorry for it tonight. I mean, he was awful too. Don't get me wrong. He had lots of giveaways, but he was on an island of his own tonight, working away there. I mean, he's just getting no help. I mean, he was giving her. But he had some giveaways, but he was being high pressured because, like I said, he was getting no support from his wingers and that. So kind of felt bad for Kyle. Every time he got trucking along a little bit, he just got stopped because he had no help. Pajot, I did not. I was so glad that he was in the lineup at the start of the game, and by the end of the game, I'm like, oh God, I wish he hadn't have come back. He was horrible. -3 tonight. -3. That's terrible. Terrible. Zeker, same thing could be said about him. Not a good night. He's -2 as well. Just so many mediocre players on this team. There's just so many mediocre players, and that seems to be the problem. Adam Pelech. Let's talk about Adam Pelech. He had a beauty of a giveaway tonight, and he also got schooled. Uh, Somebody sucked him right out of his jock strap on one of the Philly goals there. That was that was horrible. Pollock, probably the worst game I've seen Ryan play in a long time. And nothing really reflects that in his line scores. He got zeros across the board except for one block shot, but he was not good tonight. He was out of position. He wasn't good. It just overall wasn't good tonight. So probably his worst game of the year. And I'll give Pulley a pass because he's been so rock solid for us all year. Dobson -3. I mean, that giveaway, and there's just a couple other defensive miscues like that one. Like, how can you? The play starts out as 2-on-1 early, but Anders gets on his horse and already by the red line, you can tell Anders is pretty much side by side with the one guy. So this is really no longer a 2-on-1, Noah, but you're just going to continue to stand in the middle there instead of going over and taking the other guy because Anders definitely has this guy. He's got the inside lane on him. The guy's on his backhand. Noah, think. And he just stands there in the middle of the net and lets the pass go, or the middle of the two players and lets the pass go right over. Beautiful one timer. Gorgeous goal. It was gorgeous. But if you knew how to play defense, that would have never have happened. Never have happened. So just so many bad things by so many people out there. Scott Mayfield, oh my gosh, you were horrible tonight. You got totally sucked out of your jockstrap once tonight too, as well. But the giveaways and the sloppy play, it was just horrible. And Cholosky, this I've been kind of tooting your horn a lot. This had to be your worst game of the year, no doubt. You were horrible tonight too, another -2. And I got nothing good to say about Isaiah George either. There wasn't a whole lot good coming out of George tonight from what I saw. I thought that I'd have okay things to say about Ilya tonight until that fourth goal. So I'm just going to throw Ilya right in the crowd with the rest of the team that yelled, really. Yeah, sucked rocks. Everybody sucked rocks. It is getting sometimes so hard to watch the Islanders right now. I should say, and for my subscribers out there, I guess you should know this. Next Friday, I leave for Mexico for 2 weeks, and I may catch an Islander game or two at the sports bar, but there'll be no podcast. I need I think I really need this mental break from the Islanders, so there'll be no podcast for 2 weeks while I'm away in Mexico, and I'm gonna mostly try to forget this season and the Islanders are still in the season playing hockey while I'm on a beach drinking mucho cerveza. And yeah, I'm going to hang and just enjoy life out there. So uh wouldn't it be something if I went to Mexico and they won 6 in a row? Well, while I was in Mexico, all this great podcasting material, and I wasn't there for it. Come back of the season, all of a sudden they're in the playoffs, but in reality, that ain't happening. So, anyway, thank God that game is over with. So, I hope all you guys and girls out there for the rest of the night have a good night and peace out.